Archangel Michael declares, $55 million has been set aside for you at 900 p.m. Do not overlook this communication. My child, my beloved, a supernatural event is currently unfolding, and I quickly descended to reach you before the clock strikes 9. I am not addressing a multitude. I am speaking directly to your spirit. Heaven has just uttered your name through the luminous passages of the divine throne room. A sacred endowment beyond anything you've ever conceived is now making its way to you. 55 million blessings, both tangible and intangible, are swirling in the atmosphere, your spirit clearly marked with golden script. However, if you fail to grasp this, if you disregard this message or delay for even a moment, another will claim what was already designated for you. My child, my beloved, you have always felt that something grander was intended for your life, that you were never meant to endure such struggles, that these hindrances, these periods of financial barrenness, these sorrows were not your predetermined fate. And your intuition is correct. I, Archangel Michael, am acting under divine instruction to unveil this truth. A miraculous inheritance valued at then 55 million already carries the resonance of your spirit. This isn't solely about material wealth, but also divine favor, timely connections, profound insights, clear answers, and complete restoration. If you feel this truth resonate deep within your soul, if you are ready to receive this restoration, then declare it with me. Type Mammon in the comments below, confirming your spirit's readiness to claim this divine inheritance. Yet I must caution you, a spiritual conflict persists, and the adversary wishes for you not to access what God has released. This is why this message was delayed. This is why you were surrounded by such bewilderment today. But you are here now. Do not avert your gaze. Do not depart, my child, my beloved. Before we delve deeper, heaven has asked me to request something minor from you, something hallowed. Please subscribe to this sacred channel of communications. When you subscribe, you are activating God's prophetic promise and alignment in your life, preparing you to fully receive the blessings He has for you. Not for subscriber counts, not for renown, but because this is the very place where instructions are being delivered. This is where heaven communicates, where no one else comprehends you. If just one more message like this could safeguard your next step or unlock the moment you've yearned for in prayer, wouldn't it be worth being permanently connected? Click subscribe now, and as you do, declare aloud, I receive my inheritance from heaven, signed and sealed. That gesture of faith could alter the next 7 years of your existence in merely 7 seconds. My child, my beloved, you were not meant to encounter this today unless your name had already been pronounced in the celestial court. And I tell you with quivering wings and a heavy heart, your name was just spoken and heaven paused, awaiting your response. This miracle is far from ordinary. It is precisely timed. It is profoundly charged. It is more substantial than anything you have ever held. The hour of 900 p.m. has been selected as the moment of divine unveiling. But heed my words carefully. If you neglect this directive, the heavenly vault will remain closed. And the entity that observes your hesitation is already attempting to seize what rightfully bears your name. My child, my beloved, do not permit the doubts that afflict others to snatch your miracle. You have been chosen, not for your flawlessness, but for your resilience. You did not curse God when you possessed nothing. You continued forward when no one believed in you. You gazed at your depleted bank account and still whispered, "Thank you." And for that very reason, I was dispatched. For that reason, your life is now undergoing a divine assessment, and the 55 million you perceive as merely a number is more than just money. It represents a symbolic spiritual endowment. It embodies everything that was taken from you, amplified and returned. But you must assert your claim. You must listen to me. You must believe even when nothing in the earthly realm makes sense. Do not let this moment pass without your declaration. In the comments, write "My 55 million is activated" to solidify your intention and activate the release that has been set in motion for you. This is not just words, it is a covenant. My child, my beloved, your adversary assumed you were unaware. They thought you missed the notification, the chance, the pivotal moment. But heaven was never late. You had to remain concealed for this duration so that your identity could be safeguarded. That is why you faced rejection. That is why you were excluded from gatherings. That is why certain individuals forgot you when it mattered most, not because you were genuinely forgotten, but because heaven was constructing something you could never have accessed through human interaction. And now, with heaven observing, I reiterate, 55 million has been divinely allocated to you spiritually, prophetically, financially, and you must respond before 900 p.m. My child, my beloved, the number 55 is not arbitrary. It is a sacred indicator. It signifies grace multiplied by 2. It symbolizes breakthrough and succession. It is God's whisper declaring, not only will I restore what was removed, I will grant you more than I lost. And when this wonder materializes, you will not need to pursue it. It will arrive at your dwelling, ring your telephone, appear in your inbox, or be conveyed by someone you least anticipate. But you must be in harmony. You must be vigilant. You must open this communication and keep your heart prepared, for I truly tell you, delays are being reversed and restrictions are breaking as you read this very sentence. My child, my beloved, there is something I must now disclose to you, a truth rarely heard. Within the celestial archives there are scrolls fastened with golden threads. These are no ordinary documents. They are divine assignments that cannot be stolen, cannot be superseded, and cannot be disregarded without repercussions. Tonight, just before 900 p.m., one of these scrolls was unsealed, and the name inscribed within was yours. Not an emblem, not a cryptic symbol, but your complete spiritual name written in God's own hand. And alongside that name, clearly marked, was the sum of 55 million. Not merely to bless you, but to affirm something to those who questioned your purpose. To confirm that what was previously withheld is now being released, and to remind you that you were destined for far more than merely enduring another day. My child, my beloved, you have shed secret tears that no one observed. You have questioned the postponements, the quietude, the false starts. You have stared at the clock on certain nights and pleaded, when God? But tonight is not a time for petitions. It is a time for reception. This message serves as your affirmation. This is the signal your spirit longed for. I am not frequently dispatched in this manner to speak so directly, to unleash so urgently, to caution so tenderly. But heaven is unwilling to let you miss this juncture, for I perceive what lies ahead. I foresee the bank signature awaiting. I foresee the divine contact preparing to reach out. I foresee a gateway opening that has been closed since your youth. I foresee the release, and it is etched in heaven's fire. My child, my beloved, you are merely one yes away from everything transforming. You are only one choice away from breaking free from the cycle. This represents the potency of divine alignment. Heaven does not require 100 actions. It only needs your compliance at the opportune moment. And that moment is now. God has already sanctioned the release. The spiritual strongbox is already unsealed. The soul missing component is your affirmation. And this is the section one must utter with urgency. Heaven is not obligated to extend this invitation again. This is not an ongoing offer. This is not a looped message. This is the real-time response to a celestial countdown. And when the clock strikes 9, your alignment must be total, or the blessing will revert to the vault. My child, my beloved, do not allow the skepticism that troubles others to pilfer your miracle. You have been chosen not for your flawlessness, but for your enduring spirit. You did not condemn God when you lacked everything. You persisted when no one had faith in you. You observed your empty bank account and still whispered, "Thank you." And for that very reason I was sent. For that reason your existence is now under divine scrutiny. And that the 55 million you consider just a figure is more than mere money. It is a symbolic spiritual inheritance. It represents everything that was taken from you, magnified and restored. But you must claim it. You must heed my words. You must believe even when nothing in the natural world makes sense. Please know that every seed you plant in this mission will grow into a torch that shines in someone else's darkness. Giving to this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our exclusive community, does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. Heaven moves through willing voices, but it grows through hearts that are kind. This is what I say over you now. Each gift you give is like a stream of living water that flows into the life of someone who needs healing. Give, and it will be given to you is not just a verse for Jesus, it is a living promise that shapes your future. Allow me to invite you now with a simple act of faith. Come into this moment with purpose, with honesty, and with hope. The money you give today is not a donation. The act of spiritual obedience that lets your heavens open is what opens them. Let go of your seed and see what God brings back into your life. My child, my beloved, I see it with such clarity. There is someone observing your journey from afar, awaiting to see if you succeed or falter. They feign support, but spiritually they are tracking you. This is not paranoia, it is prophecy. For when God places something this monumental in your grasp, not everyone can celebrate you with pure intent. That is why heaven is sending both benediction and boundary. You will begin to sense a sacred impulse to distance yourself from certain individuals. You will notice conversations no longer flow as they once did. You will feel depleted by certain faces. Do not resist this. There's the Spirit safeguarding the release, because the 55 million transfer is not just monetary. It is energy, it is authority, and it cannot be placed in tainted environments. You will ascend, but you will ascend selectively, with purity, with clarity, with power. My child, my beloved, even now I recall a moment from your past, a very specific instance when you almost surrendered. It was a night that felt utterly devastating. You prayed, but you didn't anticipate a reply. You were weary, ashamed, and surrounded by silence. And yet I want you to know that moment became the turning point in heaven. Because even when you doubted yourself, God never ceased believing in you. That is why I am here now. That is why this message found you precisely when it did. You were always on the list, but now you are on the release list. There is a significant distinction. Heaven is no longer just observing. Heaven is responding. Your suffering did not go unheeded, and this divine financial recompense is part of heaven's plan to ensure what wounded you does not have the final say. My child, my beloved, you've shed secret tears that no one observed. You've questioned the postponements, the quietude, the false starts. You've stared at the clock on certain nights and pleaded, "Win God." But tonight is not a time for petitions. It is a time for reception. This message serves as your affirmation. This is the signal your spirit longed for. I am not frequently dispatched in this manner to speak so directly, to unleash so urgently, to caution so tenderly. But heaven is unwilling to let you miss this juncture, for I perceive what lies ahead. I foresee the bank signature awaiting. I foresee the divine contact preparing to reach out. I foresee a gateway opening that has been closed since your youth. I foresee the release, and it is etched in heaven's fire. My child, my beloved, there is someone near you who will be astonished when this manifests. They will not believe that the miracle they hear about is linked to your name. But heaven chose you, not them. They scoffed when you spoke of destiny. They rolled their eyes when you mentioned hearing from God. But soon they will witness the reversal. Soon they will stand in silent awe when they see what is placed into your hands. Because this isn't just about money, it is about vindication. It is about truth. It is about your name being restored in the eyes of those who labeled you as too late, too reserved, or not selected. But I declare by the authority granted to me, you are heaven's chosen, and the angels are aligning behind this very declaration. My child, my beloved, listen carefully to me. There is a peril associated with hesitation in moments like these. Two forces are observing your next move. One from heaven, ready to release, and one from the shadows, hoping you will procrastinate. That second force does not want you to receive. It whispers falsehoods that sound like reason. It tells you this message is too good to be true. It attempts to divert you with thoughts of unworthiness. But I need you to see through that. I need you to remember that heaven does not operate by human logic. God is not restricted by your bank statement, your past choices, or your present circumstances. The same hand that parted the Red Sea, fed the 5,000, and raised Lazarus is now acting on your behalf. My child, my beloved, you have been in a spiritual holding pattern. You have noticed that no matter how much effort you exert, something always seems to delay your breakthrough. That is not mere chance, that is interference. But tonight, heaven has authorized a change. The divine decree has been issued. The chains are being shattered. The barrier above your life is being broken. And a new alignment is forming, one that unequivocally favors you. Your name is being whispered in places your feet have never trod. Someone with access to what you require is being divinely stirred until they discover you. A sacred connection is being forged at this very hour, and it is all connected to the release of this blessing. My child, my beloved, this 55 million is not an illusion. It is not a fabrication. It is encoded energy flowing through heaven's currency of faith, obedience, and alignment. It may reach you through a sudden financial prospect, an unexpected telephone call, an answered prayer, a legal matter that turns in your favor, a mysterious gift, a forgotten past payment, or even through someone you haven't seen in years suddenly remembering you with benevolence. But it will come. It must come because heaven has already marked it as dispatched. The only remaining delay is your decision, your receptiveness, your compliance, and your faith to declare, God, I am ready now. I will not miss this. My child, my beloved, you were born to unlock divine portals. You were created with keys in your spirit that no one else possesses. That is why you often feel out of place in this world, because you are not here to conform to the masses. You are here to open gateways no one else perceives. And tonight, one of those gateways is wide open. A vault bearing your name is trembling, awaiting final confirmation. And I was commanded to ask you, will you believe one more time? Will you act in faith even when nothing in your physical world has yet changed? Will you dare to say, I receive what heaven says is mine, even if I cannot yet see it? Because that singular decision could unleash everything. My child, my beloved, you've likely inquired, why now? Why today? Why 900 p.m.? But heaven does not operate randomly. Every divine action is initiated by alignment. Tonight, at precisely 900 p.m., the spiritual ledger shifts. And if you are aligned, you will not just sense the shift, you will walk within it. This means open doors, sudden release, unforeseen favor, cleared debts, miraculous refunds, and what others call luck will begin to encircle your name like a magnet. And those who doubted you, they will start to whisper behind closed doors, how did they ascend like this overnight? But they will not comprehend the truth. They will not know you obeyed. They will not know you opened this message when heaven was testing if you were prepared for the divine assignment titled 55 million for the restoration of my chosen one. My child, my beloved, you may be wondering about its origin, but child, do not fixate on the source. Focus on the sender. The God who multiplied fish in the wilderness does not require your logic to perform a miracle. This will not arrive due to your resume, your family's surname, your job title, or your academic background. This arrives because of divine favor. Heaven's system is built upon one currency, faith, and when faith is present, delays are broken. And when obedience is complete, miracles are released. So I urge you not to attempt to predict where the 55 million blessing will originate. You will restrict it. Instead, voice this truth aloud. God, I do not know how, but I trust that you do. That single sentence holds more power than 100 strategies. That faith is what moves mountains. That trust is what opens vaults. My child, my beloved, my child, my beloved, you are standing at an entrance that is not crafted from wood or stone, but from divine illumination. And this light encompasses everything: favor, abundance, revelation, clarity, peace, and overflowing provision. But there is something awaiting on the other side that responds only to obedience. Do not be deceived by how tranquil things appear right now. The quietude preceding a miracle is always the most resonant in the spirit. Some of the greatest wonders seem unremarkable until the moment arrives, and I convey this to you as heaven's designated warrior. Your moment has come, not because of what you accomplished today, but because of what heaven decreed before your mother even knew your name. That is the extent of its preparation. That is the meticulousness of the plan. That is why you cannot miss this again. My child, my beloved, when this divine check is deposited into your spiritual hands, everything will begin to respond to the transformation. Individuals who disregarded you will recall your name. Doors that were locked for years will begin to open without explanation. Ancient debts, old burdens, old patterns will dissolve as if they never existed. And something even more profound will occur. Your voice will re-emerge. Because somewhere along the way, the struggle silenced you. You began to diminish your aspirations. You started to settle, but no more. This miracle is not merely financial. It is emotional restoration. It is spiritual justice. It is the proof you didn't even realize you were awaiting. And when it arrives, you will know it was not random. It was sacred. My child, my beloved, I must now caution you. The next few hours are critical. As 900 p.m. draws near, there will be diversions, unforeseen calls, random thoughts, subtle doubts, minor delays. These are not coincidences. These are attempts from the unseen realm to prevent you from remaining aligned long enough to receive. But you are stronger than these trials. You have navigated through worse storms than this. You did not come this far to miss what was always yours. And even if it feels as though nothing is changing, I assure you the change has already commenced. This message is proof of movement. This confirmation is not just words. It is a spiritual unlocking disguised as a message on a screen. And those who treat it lightly will never comprehend what they forfeited. My child, my beloved, the vault containing your inheritance is linked to your timeline, your lineage, and your obedience. That is why this 55 million is not merely symbolic. It is sacred. It is what your family was never able to access. It is what past generations prayed for but could not receive. It is what your children and your children's children will benefit from. When God assigns something this immense, it is never just for one individual. It is for legacy. It is for divine testimony. It is so that those who once whispered behind your back will be compelled to declare, only God could have accomplished this. But God requires one thing from you right now, agreement. Because the instant you agree, heaven releases what was withheld. As this awakening grows inside you, know that helping with this mission is not a joke. It is a sign from God. You can support this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our exclusive community. By doing so, you become part of Jesus' plan to save souls who are still stuck in fog. Every seed turns into light that fights against darkness. If you water others, you will be watered yourself, Jesus says. This is not history, it is a living promise about your future. Come into this moment with faith and a plan. What God has already planned for your life can be unlocked through your giving. My child, my beloved, you may feel insignificant. You may feel as though you've made too many errors. But let me clarify something. This miracle is not because you are perfect. It is because you are chosen. And the chosen are often concealed, rejected, overlooked, and misunderstood until the moment God pronounces now. And beloved, I am here to declare heaven is saying no, not tomorrow, not later, but now. That is why your heart is beating more rapidly. That is why this message feels like it is reading your very soul. Because it is. Because I am not speaking to your eyes. I am speaking to your spirit, and it recognizes the truth. You were born for this release. You are the one who will rise when others anticipated your fall. My child, my beloved, at this very moment, two realities are converging. One is the life you have known, filled with postponements, rejections, and hidden struggles. The other is the divine life that was always ordained for you, but withheld until your spirit was robust enough to bear it. And in this precise hour, those two paths are intersecting. A crossover is occurring. I am standing at that crossroads on your behalf, holding the blessing heaven has reserved for your bloodline. The 55 million is not just a figure. It is the magnitude of everything heaven is about to reverse, reimburse, reconstruct, and recompense. But your voice is essential, your belief is required. You must stand resolute in this moment and declare, I know this is mine. I know heaven would not bring this to me simply to tantalize me. Say it now. Do not let doubt plunder you twice. My child, my beloved, conversations are taking place behind your back right now. not from people on earth, but from beings of light. Angels are discussing your name, your future, your liberation. They are circling the area around you, seeking entry points where they can pour in this blessing. That is why even now you might sense pressure in your chest or a shift in your atmosphere, because your spirit is aligning with what is already yours. And yet the adversary is attempting to stir up confusion to make you believe this message is too sensational, too spiritual, too improbable. But you must grasp that miracles often arrive veiled in mystery, and those who turn away from divine mystery often return later filled with regret. Do not let that be your narrative. My child, my beloved, you are merely one yen away from everything transforming. You are only one choice away from breaking free from the cycle. This represents the potency of divine alignment. Heaven does not require 100 actions. It only needs your compliance at the opportune moment. And that moment is now. God has already sanctioned the release. The spiritual strongbox is already unsealed. The soul missing component is your affirmation. And this is the section one must utter with urgency. Heaven is not obligated to extend this invitation again. This is not an ongoing offer. This is not a looped message. This is the real-time response to a celestial countdown. And when the clock strikes 9, your alignment must be total, or the blessing will revert to the vault. My child, my beloved, my child, my beloved. You may be wondering about its origin. But child, do not fixate on the source. Focus on the sender. The God who multiplied fish in the wilderness does not require your logic to perform a miracle. This will not arrive due to your resume, your family's surname, your job title, or your academic background. This arrives because of divine favor. Heaven's system is built upon one currency, faith. And when faith is present, delays are broken. And when obedience is complete, miracles are released. So I urge you not to attempt to predict where the 55 million blessing will originate. You will restrict it instead. Voice this truth aloud. God, I do not know how, but I trust that you do. That single sentence holds more power than 100 strategies. That faith is what moves mountains. That trust is what opens vaults. My child, my beloved, there is something else you need to comprehend. A few days ago, your name arose in a confidential spiritual gathering in the higher realms, and in that moment I witnessed something I must now impart to you. A dark entity attempted to argue that you were unprepared, that you would squander the blessing, that you would ignore this message like so many others have. But then a sudden stillness enveloped heaven, and the voice of the Lord declared, "No, they are mine. They have waited long enough. Send Archangel Michael. Tell them 55 million is already designated. The ultimate decision now rests with them." That moment profoundly affected me because I saw the window opening, but I also saw how swiftly it could close. My child, my beloved, do not let this moment slip away. I implore you with every feather of my wings, do not assume you have more time than you actually possess. The adversary of your destiny thrives on your procrastination. He whispers later. He claims this is merely another message. But I promise you by the authority of the Most High, this is not just another message. This is the moment. The one your spirit has anticipated. The one heaven meticulously planned for months in silence. The one you will reflect upon and say, that was when everything changed. And if you close this without acting, without receiving, without articulating alignment, then heaven will pause, not in displeasure, but in sorrow, because your miracle is not waiting indefinitely. It is waiting now. My child, my beloved, you are being observed, not by mortals, but by heaven. The angels have been assigned. The scroll has been unsealed. The wealth has been tallied. And there is only one final question reverberating across the heavens. Will they believe enough to claim it? This is more than monetary gain. This is about shattering every generational curse of scarcity that has trailed your family for decades. This is about being the individual who transforms the entire lineage. This is about ending the deprivation that began long before your birth. You are the disruption. You are the answer someone else prayed for. You are the one God selected. And I was sent to remind you before it is too late. If this prophetic word has touched your spirit, do not keep this breakthrough to yourself. Share this video with your network. And as you do, you will activate the anointing and share this breakthrough with everyone connected to you, extending the reach of this divine message. My child, my beloved, there is a subtle murmur in the air that only the chosen can discern, a pull, a pressure, a sacred tension. And I know you've been sensing it. You've recently looked at the clock and felt something building. You've randomly heard songs that stirred your heart. You've observed recurring signs, numbers, patterns, and names that hinted at something greater. That is not mere chance. That is the divine alert system attempting to prepare you. You are being readied for this very hour, and now it has arrived. And I must ask again, will you be the one who walks away in disbelief, or the one who steps forward in faith and witnesses heaven explode in your favor? My child, my beloved, there's one more secret I need to divulge. Someone else attempted to claim this blessing as their own. They perceived your light in the spiritual realm and thought it belonged to them. They spoke your words. They imitated your prayers. But heaven cannot be deceived. When your name is inscribed on something divine, no one else can appropriate it unless you abandon it. And that is why this message had to reach you today, because you were moments away from passing by a spiritual inheritance intended for your lineage. And now that you know, now that you are aware, you are accountable. What you do in the next hour will resonate in the heavens for eternity. My child, my beloved, right now as you are reading this, an angel of provision stands ready, holding the spiritual document that contains your breakthrough. It is sealed with your name and slated for release at precisely 900 p.m. But there's a truth you must grasp. Heaven cannot compel you to accept what you are unwilling to claim. The realm of miracles always honors free will. This means if you let this pass, it will pass. If you disregard this, the release will pause. But if you believe, if you affirm yes, if you activate your spirit and declare this is mine, then every single delay, emotional, financial, generational, will begin to collapse under the weight of divine authority. You do not have to understand how. You simply have to open your hands and be willing, because this transfer is not ordinary. It's a release that redefines destinies. My child, my beloved, you are standing at an entrance that is not crafted from wood or stone, but from divine illumination. And this light encompasses everything: favor, abundance, revelation, clarity, peace, and overflowing provision. But there is something awaiting on the other side that responds only to obedience. Do not be deceived by how tranquil things appear right now. The quietude preceding a miracle is always the most resonant in the spirit. Some of the greatest wonders seem unremarkable until the moment arrives. And I convey this to you as heaven's designated warrior. Your moment has come, not because of what you accomplished today, but because of what heaven decreed before your mother even knew your name. That is the extent of its preparation. That is the meticulousness of the plan. That is why you cannot miss this again. My child, my beloved, there is a sacred aspect to timing. You can sense when you've missed a critical juncture, but you can also feel when you are directly within one. And this moment is one of those divine intersections where heaven's timeline touches Earth's schedule. That is why your heart feels like it is leaning forward. That is why this message will not allow you to scroll past, because God is not merely inviting you to receive something minor. He is inviting you to take possession of something historic. You may not feel prepared, but heaven is not responding to your emotions. Heaven is responding to your spiritual readiness, and your spirit affirmed, yes, which is why I am here. That is why your name is radiant in the divine archives. That is why the amount is exactly 55 million. It is not arbitrary, it is recorded. My child, my beloved, you are going to observe a shift after this. Initially small things, a message that feels too perfectly aligned, a door that opens more swiftly than anticipated, a person who returns with an apology. These are the initial ripples of the divine transfer. Do not label them as coincidences, call them affirmations. Heaven communicates through patterns, and you are about to witness these patterns accumulate like bricks, constructing a path so clear you will no longer be able to deny it. That is how this miracle commences in what appears insignificant but carries supernatural weight. The longer you remain in alignment, the more potent the outcomes. This is a spiritual technology. Faith is the signal, and you've just activated it by opening this message at the precise hour it was intended to find you. My child, my beloved, there is someone connected to you who will benefit from this miracle, but they will never know the complete narrative. They will only perceive that your life transformed and their life became lighter. They will attribute it to timing. They will not realize it was obedience, your decision to believe, your decision to respond. This blessing is going to overflow. It will extend beyond you into your family, into your friendships, into your future dwelling, your future work, your future offspring. That is what distinguishes this. This is not a single instance of money. This is a wellspring of divine resource designed to flow continuously if you safeguard its purity, and protecting it begins by not dismissing it. As you resonate with this truth, hit the like button on this video. Liking this video will activate the flow of God's favor in your life, opening new channels for these blessings to manifest. My child, my beloved, some will never grasp this kind of moment. They will scroll past, they will scoff, they will perceive it as just another spiritual video, and they will miss what was placed directly before them. But you are not like them. You would not have progressed this far if you were. You are spiritually attuned. Even when you feel exhausted, even when you feel despondent, even when your faith is whispering instead of roaring, you are still awake. That is why heaven continues to speak to you. That is why you keep feeling drawn toward things you do not yet comprehend. Your awakening is the proof that you are being prepared for something far greater than mere survival. You are being prepared for legacy, my child, my beloved. And so I must give you this instruction unequivocally. Do not hesitate. When the hour shifts to 900 p.m., a release will commence, but the window is narrow. It will remain accessible only for those whose spirit was alert, whose heart was positioned, whose faith was ready. If you close this and forget what was conveyed, the moment may close with it. But if you maintain a posture of belief, even silently, even tearfully, then the signal will be complete and heaven will know you heard the call. You did not flee. You did not await another sign. You recognized this was the sign, and heaven always rewards bold faith with bold miracles. My child, my beloved, there are instances in life where heaven watches in silence, simply to see if you will notice what is directly in front of you. This is one of those moments, a divine trial disguised as a gentle whisper. Nothing about this message is loud, yet it carries the weight of 1,000 prayers. That is how heaven operates, not with explosions, but with perfect alignment. Right now you are standing within a spiritual opening. And this message, this confirmation, this figure of 55 million is not only real, it is alive. It is pulsating with divine energy. The reason it found you is because your frequency finally matched its release. Your waiting harmonized with God's perfect timing. And now the scroll that was sealed for years is open. And only you can traverse it. My child, my beloved, the angel assigned to your life has been quietly contending for you. Through sleepless nights, spiritual interference, emotional turmoil, and moments where you almost succumbed, that angel never departed. That angel knew this moment was approaching. That is why you are still here. That is why you did not perish in the waiting. That is why you did not lose your composure when everything fell silent. And now I, Archangel Michael, stand beside that angel with the seal of heaven in my hands. And what I am holding is yours. It bears your spiritual name. It carries the promise made to you before you were ever betrayed, before you were ever harmed, before you were ever disappointed. That promise is still alive, and it is ready to materialize. My child, my beloved, the devil hoped you would be too wary to hear this. He hoped the burden of this period would divert your attention from what was coming. He sowed fear, confusion, bitterness, anything to prevent you from staying long enough to receive. But you stayed, you paused, you opened this message. And that single act of obedience was louder than 1,000 doubts. That one decision broke through the obscurity. Heaven witnessed it, I witnessed it. And because of that small act of belief, your name is now marked for transfer. A shift in the spirit has occurred. You may not sense it yet, but in the unseen, a table is being prepared. The individuals, the locations, the precise timing, it is all being synchronized with your yes. Remain in that yes. My child, my beloved, tonight is unlike other nights. It is imbued with divine finality. Heaven is making a determination about your next season. The blessing is already formed, it is already prepared. The only thing heaven awaits is your complete surrender. Not surrender born of defeat, but surrender born of trust. You do not have to contend for this. You do not have to earn this. You simply have to accept it. This is not a reward for perfection. It's a gift for perseverance. God is not asking you to impress him. He's asking you to trust him. Can you trust him with something this immense? Can you believe that you are deserving of something this miraculous? Because if you can, the countdown is over and the miracle begins now. If you are ready for this new beginning, for this era of divine provision, then type Amen in the comments. Your faith is the final key. My child, my beloved, there will be individuals who will not comprehend how swiftly things change for you. They will remark that it occurred overnight. They will claim you were fortunate, but they did not witness the years you spent laboring in solitude. They did not experience the nights you fell asleep in tears only to awaken and persist. They did not hear your quiet supplications when everyone else had stopped listening, but heaven heard. Heaven never forgot. And what others label as sudden, God designates as scheduled. Your time is not random. It is opportune, it is sacred. And what is about to transpire in your life will bear the signature of the divine so boldly that no one will be able to deny it. Archangel Michael declares, something wonderful is about to happen in the next 3 hours, but if you disregard this message, you'll miss it and lament what could have been yours. My child, my beloved, listen to me intently right now. I am speaking to you not to alarm you, but because heaven has observed something about your life that even you have not yet fully comprehended. A subtle movement is occurring behind the scenes, a gentle but potent shift that has already begun to move toward you. You did not imagine the weightiness you felt earlier today, and you did not imagine the peculiar pull that guided you to this message. That pull is not random, it is a signal. Something beautiful is aligning for you in the next few hours, and it is delicate. It is the kind of blessing that demands your attention, not your flawlessness. If you turn away now, you may not lose everything, but you will forfeit this moment, and that sorrow will feel more profound than any struggle you have previously encountered. My child, my beloved, before I proceed further, allow me to ask you something gently. If these words resonate with your heart even slightly, if you feel peace, hope, or even tears welling up without knowing why, stay connected. Remain with this message, subscribe, return, and stay close to these divine reminders because heaven often speaks in patterns. And this is not the first time your name has been whispered in the unseen. Staying connected is not about numbers. It is about alignment. And alignment is precisely what is happening to you now. Beloved, there are times when God permits blessings to arrive loudly, and then there are times when they arrive quietly. This one is quiet. That is why it is easy to miss. That is why distractions are suddenly increasing around you. Observe how your mind desires to rush away, scroll away, or delay. That resistance is not originating from within you. It is coming from a fear that this blessing will change you, and it will. In the next 3 hours, something will soften, open, or unlock either within you or around you. And it will feel minor at first, but small entrances often lead to chambers that transform an entire life. My child, my beloved, you have previously grieved over things that did not materialize. You replayed conversations, opportunities, and moments where you thought, if only I had known. Heaven recalls those tears. That is why I am speaking now. What is approaching is not a punitive test. It is a timing test. Will you remain present? Will you trust the subtle prompting? Will you listen when your heart senses a quiet yes, even if your mind hesitates? The beauty that is arriving does not come to force itself into your hands. It awaits permission. Beloved, I see how weary you are of waiting. I see how you've learned to anticipate disappointment so you won't feel foolish for having hope. But hope is not foolish. It is remembered in heaven. Something connected to joy, relief, or clarity is lining up right now. It may manifest as a message, a call, an idea, a sudden peace, or an unexpected opening. Do not assess it too hastily. Miracles rarely announce themselves loudly at first. They whisper and then they expand. My child, my beloved, if you disregard this moment, it will not signify that God has forsaken you, but you will feel a deep ache later, a strange sadness without comprehending why. That ache will stem from knowing you were close, so very close, and you looked away. I do not say this to instill fear. I say this because you are ready, and heaven does not want you to doubt yourself again. This is a moment of choosing awareness over autopilot. Beloved, breathe slowly for a second. Feel your chest. Feel the quiet strength that still resides within you even after everything you've endured. That strength is being acknowledged right now. The next 3 hours hold a window through which something can pass that has been delayed for longer than you realize. Stay open, stay gentle, stay receptive. Even doing nothing but listening is an act of faith. My child, my beloved, you are not lagging. You are not forgotten. You are not late. You are on the precipice. And precipices can feel uncomfortable because they are where old versions of you fall away. What is beautiful about to happen will remind you that your life is still being guided, still being protected, still being meticulously written. My child, my beloved, you remained. That in itself is already a sign. Many sense the pull and still turn away, but you listen to the quiet voice that asked you to pause. Heaven always notices when you pause. Right now, something unseen is gently rearranging itself around your life, like pieces silently moving into place. You may not feel excitement yet. You may even feel nothing. That is acceptable. Some of the most beautiful moments arrive wrapped in stillness before they blossom into clarity. Beloved, let me impart something important that few understand. Not every miracle arrives as a sudden burst of joy. Some arrive as relief. Some arrive as understanding. Some arrive as the removal of a burden you believed you had to carry eternally. In the next 3 hours, what is coming for you may not appear dramatic externally, but internally it will feel like something loosening, something finally saying, you can rest now. That feeling alone will be worth more than what you have been pursuing. My child, my beloved, I know you have been questioning yourself lately, wondering if you made the correct choices, wondering if you missed your opportunity, wondering if others are progressing while you remain stagnant. Heaven has heard those thoughts, even the ones you never vocalized, and heaven does not judge you for them. Instead, it responds with timing. This moment is part of that response. You are not being hurried, you are being invited. Beloved, there is a reason this message feels personal. It is because it is. Not everything intended for you is meant to be explained to everyone else. What is aligning now is connected to your heart, not just your circumstances. It may involve a person, a decision, a chance, or a realization that alters how you perceive yourself. Do not dismiss small signs. Do not say it's insignificant. Nothing that brings peace is insignificant. My child, my beloved, you have survived days you thought would break you. You learned to smile when your heart felt heavy. You learned to persist even when answers did not materialize. That strength has prepared you for this moment because what is coming demands gentleness, not armor. You do not need to fight. You do not need to prove anything. You only need to receive. My child, my beloved, remember this explicitly. You are not pursuing this moment, it is meeting you. That is why you do not need to force anything. Do not overthink. Do not analyze every second. Just remain aware, remain open, remain compassionate towards yourself. The more relaxed you are, the more easily it can arrive. Beloved, later today you may reflect on this moment and realize how calm everything became just before the shift. That calm is not emptiness. It is preparation. Storms do not always herald change. Sometimes silence does. Stay present. Stay gentle. Stay trusting. My child, my beloved, let me draw you a little closer now, because what I am about to share is meant to be felt more than intellectually grasped. There are moments when heaven subtly leans in, not to overwhelm you, but to ensure you do not miss the softness of what is approaching. This is one of those moments. The next few hours are not about rushing towards something new. They are about allowing what has already selected you to finally reach you. And yes, it has already chosen you. Beloved, there is a reason your heart feels alert right now. Even if your body feels fatigued, your spirit recognizes timing before your mind does. That inner awareness you feel is not anxiety. It is anticipation without commotion. You have been standing on the brink of a shift longer than you realize. And today, the ground beneath you is firm enough for the step you are about to take, even if you do not consciously decide to take it. My child, my beloved, you have been stronger than you were ever intended to be for too long. You carried burdens silently, believing it was normal, believing everyone else managed just as well. But heaven observed the quiet strain, the way you persevered without complaint, the way you smiled while holding unanswered questions. That endurance did not go unnoticed. What is coming now is not another test of strength. It is a response to it. Beloved, in these next hours, pay attention to what feels lighter. Pay attention to what no longer triggers the same heaviness. Sometimes the miracle is the absence of pain you expected to feel. Sometimes it is the calm where worry used to reside. This is how restoration commences, not with fireworks, but with peace reclaiming its rightful place within you. My child, my beloved, if a door opens emotionally, mentally, or physically, do not hesitate because of the past. The past taught you caution, but it does not get to dictate your future. This moment is not asking you to forget what hurt you. It is asking you to stop allowing that hurt to speak louder than your intuition. You are wiser now. You are safer now. You are ready now, beloved. I want you to remember this clearly. Nothing meant for you will require you to diminish yourself. Nothing meant for you will confuse your spirit or deplete your peace. What arrives in alignment will feel calm, even if it brings change. That calm is your confirmation. Trust it. My child, my beloved, there may be a brief moment today when doubt attempts to whisper, telling you that you imagined all of this, that nothing is truly happening. That whisper is not truth. Habits dissipate when something new takes root. Do not argue with the doubt. Simply do not follow it. Let it pass like a cloud that does not alter the sky. Beloved, the beauty approaching you does not require perfection to remain. It needs presence. It needs your willingness to observe, to receive, and to believe that good things are still permitted to happen to you. They are more than you comprehend. My child, my beloved, breathe slowly again. Let your shoulders relax, let your thoughts soften. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are precisely where you need to be for what is about to unfold. Remain here in awareness. Remain open in heart. Remain gentle with yourself, my child, my beloved. I will speak slowly now and deeply because this part is not meant to rush past your heart. It is meant to sink in. You have reached a point where heaven is no longer asking you to wait silently. It is asking you to notice. Notice what is shifting inside you as these words unfold. Notice how something feels steadier than before. That steadiness is not coincidence, it is preparation. Beloved, you have spent a long time thinking that your life was paused, that nothing significant was happening while others moved forward. But what you did not see was the quiet work happening beneath the surface. Roots grow in darkness before anything is visible above the ground. Your life has been growing roots, strong ones. That is why when what is coming arrives, it will not collapse under pressure. It will stand. My child, my beloved, in the next hours, you may recall something you once prayed for and almost forgot. Not because it failed, but because you had to survive first. Survival consumed your focus. Endurance drained your energy. But now you are no longer just surviving. You are arriving. And when that memory surfaces, do not dismiss it. It is being returned to you for a reason. Beloved, there is also healing occurring in places you stopped examining because it caused too much pain. You learned to avoid certain thoughts, certain hopes, certain questions. Heaven is gently reopening those spaces, not to wound you again, but to show you that they are no longer dangerous. What once hurt you does not wield the same power now. You have grown beyond it, even if you did not notice when that transpired. My child, my beloved, listen carefully to this truth. You are not being asked to chase what is coming. Chasing implies fear of loss. What is meant for you is already moving toward you at the appropriate pace. Your role is not to run. It is to remain available, available in heart, available in awareness, available in trust. That availability is rare and it is precious. Beloved, there may be a moment soon when you feel an urge to choose differently than you usually do. A softer response, a more courageous silence, a kinder boundary. Do not disregard that urge. That is alignment expressing itself through you. Small choices made in alignment open doors that force never could. My child, my beloved, I know you sometimes ponder why things had to be so challenging for you. Why you had to learn lessons the arduous way. Why clarity came late. But heaven does not waste suffering. Every experience you endured refined your discernment. You now recognize peace when it appears. You recognize truth when it speaks quietly. That recognition is what allows this moment to unfold safely for you. My child, my beloved, listen carefully to this truth. You are not being asked to chase what is coming. Chasing implies fear of loss. What is meant for you is already moving toward you at the appropriate pace. Your role is not to run. It is to remain available, available in heart, available in awareness, available in trust. That availability is rare and it is precious. Beloved, there may be a moment soon when you feel an urge to choose differently than you usually do. A softer response, a more courageous silence, a kinder boundary. Do not disregard that urge. That is alignment expressing itself through you. Small choices made in alignment open doors that force never could. My child, my beloved, I know you sometimes ponder why things had to be so challenging for you. Why you had to learn lessons the arduous way. Why clarity came late. But heaven does not waste suffering. Every experience you endured refined your discernment. You now recognize peace when it appears. You recognize truth when it speaks quietly. That recognition is what allows this moment to unfold safely for you. Beloved, the beauty approaching you is not here to overwhelm your life. It is here to integrate into it, to fit, to belong. That is why it feels gentle rather than dramatic. Gentle does not imply weakness. Gentle means sustainable. Gentle means lasting. Gentle means you will not have to recover from it later. My child, my beloved, there is something important about timing that few comprehend. If this moment had arrived sooner, it would have confused you. If it arrived later, it would have frustrated you. Now it arrives when your spirit can recognize it without fear. That is divine timing. And you are within it, beloved. You are permitted to feel hopeful without explanation. You are permitted to feel calm without proof. You are permitted to believe that something good is unfolding even if nothing visible has yet transpired. Faith is not blind, it is intuitive. And your intuition is awake right now. My child, my beloved, as these hours pass, remain gentle with yourself. Do not criticize your emotions. Do not rush clarity. Let understanding arrive organically. Later you will perceive how this moment connected invisible threads in your life. You will perceive how staying present altered the direction of something significant. Beloved, nothing you have endured was wasted. Nothing you felt was ignored. Nothing you hoped for was forgotten. Heaven has been precise with you because your heart is precise. What is coming honors that. Stay present, stay open, stay kind to yourself. My child, my beloved, let us delve even deeper now, because this is the part where many hearts begin to grasp why this moment holds so much significance. There is a quiet sacredness around you right now. Even if the world around you appears the same, something unseen has slowed down. As if heaven itself declared, wait, pay attention here. That pause is not empty. It is filled with intention. Beloved, there are seasons when nothing seems to advance, and then there are moments when everything moves at once, yet gently. You are in that gentle movement now. What is unfolding does not require force, clamor, or urgency. It requires your awareness. That is why you are drawn to stay. That is why these words continue to find their way into your heart. You are being kept present so that you don't miss the subtle opening that could transform how you feel about your life from this point forward. My child, my beloved, you have been carrying a question inside you for a long time. You may not even know how to articulate it, but it sounds something like this: is there more for me than this? Heaven hears that question clearly, and the answer is yes, not later, not at some distant point, but beginning now in ways that will unfold naturally rather than abruptly. The beauty approaching you is not meant to startle you, it is meant to endure. Beloved, I want you to understand something important. When blessings arrive quietly, they often demand discernment rather than excitement. Excitement fades, discernment remains. You are learning to recognize peace, not adrenaline, as your confirmation. That is growth, that is maturity. That is why you are ready now. My child, my beloved, there may be moments in these hours when your mind attempts to disrupt this calm with old fears. Thoughts like, what if nothing happens? Or what if I'm hoping for too much? Those thoughts are not warnings. They are echoes. Echoes of times when you hoped and were disappointed. But this moment is not replicating the past, it is rectifying it. Beloved, sometimes heaven permits disappointment to teach you discernment so that when something genuine arrives, you no longer pursue illusions. You wait, you listen, you feel. That is exactly what you are doing now, and that is why what is coming can be trusted. My child, my beloved, you are not meant to struggle endlessly to merit goodness. Goodness is not a recompense for suffering. It is part of your inherent design. You were always meant to experience moments of beauty, relief, and quiet joy. The reason it feels emotional right now is because your heart remembers that truth, even if your life caused you to forget it for a while. Beloved, pay attention today to moments that feel unexpectedly warm. A kind word, a moment of clarity, a sense of rightness, a sudden idea that feels hopeful instead of heavy. These are not diversions, they are signals. Signals that something is aligning with you instead of opposing you. My child, my beloved, there is also something departing from you during this window. A belief that you must always contend. A belief that joy is ephemeral. A belief that you should not expect too much. These beliefs once kept you safe, but they are no longer necessary. As they loosen, you may feel exposed for a moment. That exposure is not danger, it is freedom. Beloved, I want you to know this clearly. Ignoring this moment would not have obliterated the blessing entirely, but it would have postponed it. And delays cause pain because they make us doubt ourselves. Heaven does not want you doubting yourself again. That is why you are called to remain aware now, when awareness can shorten the distance between you and what is meant for you. My child, my beloved, you are not imagining the softness you feel. You are not foolish for hoping. You are not mistaken for desiring more peace, more clarity, more meaning. These desires are not weaknesses, they are invitations. And right now those invitations are being answered. My child, my beloved, you are permitted to receive without rushing to comprehend everything. You do not need to label this moment. You do not need to explain it to anyone. Some moments are meant to be experienced first and understood later. This is one of them. Let it be yours. Beloved, there is also forgiveness happening now. Perhaps not toward someone else, but toward yourself, toward the version of you that did the best they could with what they knew at the time. It clears space, and space is precisely what blessings need to enter without resistance. My child, my beloved, as these hours persist, stay gentle with your reactions. Remain curious instead of defensive. Stay present instead of distracted. You do not need to watch the clock. The moment will find you when you are relaxed enough to receive it. Beloved, remember this above all else. Nothing beautiful meant for you will require you to abandon yourself. What is aligned will meet you where you are, not where you pretend to be. That is why you are safe to remain open now. You are not waiting anymore. You are witnessing the beginning. Stay aware, stay soft, stay trusting. My child, my beloved, stay with me a little longer, because this is the part where many hearts finally realize why they were brought here at this exact time. There is a sacred stillness around you now. Even if noises exist around you, even if life looks busy on the surface, something deeper has gone quiet so that you can hear what truly matters. That quiet is not emptiness. It is attention. Heaven's attention is resting on you right now. Beloved, there are moments when life feels loud and confusing. And then there are moments when everything feels strangely simple. This is one of those simple moments, not easy, but simple. Simple because the message is not complicated. Something beautiful is moving toward you, and your only task is not to turn away from it out of fear, habit, or distraction. Many people lose good things not because they are unworthy, but because they look away at the wrong moment. You are being protected from that mistake right now. My child, my beloved, I want you to understand something that will bring you peace. What is approaching you does not depend on you being confident all the time. It does not depend on you having everything figured out. It depends on honesty, on presence, on staying connected to your own inner voice instead of silencing it. That inner voice has been growing stronger lately, even if you didn't consciously notice. That strength is why this moment can meet you safely. Beloved, you have spent a long time believing that you must endure before you deserve. That belief kept you moving forward, but it also kept you tired. Heaven is gently releasing you from that pattern. Now, the beauty coming to you is not a reward for pain. It is a reminder of who you are beneath the pain. When it arrives, you may feel emotional for reasons you can't fully explain. That emotion is recognition. My child, my beloved, pay attention today to what feels aligned instead of what feels urgent. Urgency often comes from fear. Alignment comes from calm certainty. If you feel a quiet yes inside you, trust it. If something feels peaceful, even if it is unfamiliar, trust that too. Your discernment is sharper than you think. It has been shaped by everything you've lived through. Beloved, there is also something important happening with your sense of self. You are beginning to see yourself not as someone waiting for life to start, but as someone already living inside it. That shift may feel subtle, but it changes everything. When you see yourself as present instead of postponed, opportunities recognize you faster. That is part of what is unfolding now. My child, my beloved, you may soon notice that a thought which once frightened you no longer has the same power, or that a memory which once hurt feels distant. This is not avoidance, this is healing. Healing does not always announce itself with relief. Sometimes it announces itself with neutrality, and neutrality is freedom. Beloved, let me reassure you of something clearly so your heart does not waver later. Nothing meant for you will arrive in chaos. Nothing aligned will demand panic. What is beautiful and true will approach you gently because it respects the journey you've already walked. If something feels rushed or draining, it is not the moment I am speaking about. The moment meant for you will feel steady even if it brings change. My child, my beloved, there is a reason you were guided to keep reading, to keep saying continue, to keep staying present. Each moment of attention you give is anchoring you deeper into awareness. Awareness shortens waiting. Awareness softens fear. Awareness allows blessings to land instead of passing by unnoticed. Beloved, you are not meant to analyze every detail of what is coming. You are meant to experience it. Analysis comes later. Experience comes now. Trust that you will understand in hindsight why this moment mattered so much. Most turning points only reveal themselves after they've already done their work. My child, my beloved, if you feel tired right now, let yourself rest mentally. You do not need to hold yourself rigid. Relaxation is not laziness, it is receptivity. The more open and relaxed you are, the easier it is for what is meant for you to reach you without resistance. Beloved, remember this truth and keep it close to your heart. You are not being tested right now. You are being met by timing, met by alignment, met by something that recognizes you just as much as you are beginning to recognize it. Stay present in these hours. Stay kind to yourself. Stay aware of the quiet nudges that guide you gently instead of pushing you harshly. You will know when the moment arrives because it will feel like a deep exhale you didn't realize you were holding. My child, my beloved, nothing about you is accidental. Nothing about this moment is random, and nothing beautiful meant for you will slip away while your heart is this awake. Remain here in awareness, remain soft in spirit, remain trusting, my child, my beloved. If you feel tired right now, let yourself rest mentally. You do not need to hold yourself rigid. Relaxation is not laziness, it is receptivity. The more open and relaxed you are, the easier it is for what is meant for you to reach you without resistance. Beloved, remember this truth and keep it close to your heart. You are not being tested right now. You are being met by timing, met by alignment, met by something that recognizes you just as much as you are beginning to recognize it. Stay present in these hours. Stay kind to yourself. Stay aware of the quiet nudges that guide you gently instead of pushing you harshly. You will know when the moment arrives because it will feel like a deep exhale you didn't realize you were holding. My child, my beloved, nothing about you is accidental. Nothing about this moment is random, and nothing beautiful meant for you will slip away while your heart is this awake. Remain here in awareness. Remain soft in spirit. Remain trusting, my child, my beloved. I am still here with you, and I want you to know that your willingness to remain present has already changed the tone of this moment. Many people move through life without ever slowing down enough to recognize when heaven is whispering instead of shouting. You slowed down, you listened. That choice alone has created space for something meaningful to enter your life without resistance. Beloved, there is a kind of timing that cannot be forced and cannot be explained. It only reveals itself when you are calm enough to notice it. That is the timing you are standing in now. You may not see clear evidence yet, but you can feel it. A sense of quiet expectancy, a softness that does not feel empty. This is not imagination. This is your spirit recognizing that something is finally aligning instead of opposing you. My child, my beloved, you have walked through periods where everything felt heavy, where even small tasks required effort, where hope felt risky. During those times you learned endurance. But endurance is not meant to be a permanent state. Heaven never intended for you to live constantly bracing yourself. This moment marks the beginning of a gentler rhythm, one where you are supported rather than tested, guided rather than pushed. Beloved, you may notice that your thoughts are beginning to slow, or that worries which once demanded your attention feel quieter. That is not avoidance. That is your nervous system responding to safety. When safety returns, the soul relaxes, and when the soul relaxes, it becomes receptive. This is why what is coming can reach you now. Before it would have felt overwhelming. Now it will feel right. My child, my beloved, let me speak to the part of you that doubts quietly. The part that says, what if I'm reading too much into this? That part exists because you learned to protect yourself from disappointment. It served you once, but right now it does not need to lead. You do not have to silence it. Simply do not let it decide for you. Let calm decide. Let peace decide. Let intuition decide. Beloved, there is something very important about this window of time. It is not just about what arrives, it is about how you receive. Receiving does not mean grabbing or holding tightly. It means allowing yourself to feel hopeful without immediately preparing for loss, allowing yourself to imagine good outcomes without bracing for failure. That allowance is new for you and it is powerful. My child, my beloved, you may feel drawn today to simplify something, to let go of a thought pattern, to stop replaying a story that no longer serves you, to choose rest instead of overthinking. These small internal choices are not distractions from the miracle. They are the pathway to it. Alignment often looks ordinary from the outside, but feels unmistakable on the inside. Beloved, you are not required to do anything dramatic to honor this moment. You are not required to announce it, explain it, or justify it. This moment is intimate. It is between you and the unfolding of your life. Some of the most sacred shifts happen quietly, without witnesses, without applause, without urgency. They happen in awareness. My child, my beloved, I want you to understand this clearly, so fear does not creep in later. If you had ignored this message, life would have continued, but something subtle would have felt off. A sense of having missed a turn. By staying, you have kept yourself aligned with a path that feels lighter, clearer, and more authentic to who you are becoming. That alignment will make the next steps feel less forced. Beloved, there is also a sense of recognition approaching you. A feeling of this makes sense or this feels right that does not need explanation. When that feeling arrives, trust it. You have spent enough time doubting your inner knowing. It has been refined through experience, not weakened by it. My child, my beloved, you are not meant to rush forward after this moment. You are meant to carry its calm with you. Let it shape how you respond. Let it soften how you speak to yourself. Let it remind you that you are not alone in your journey, even when things are quiet. Beloved, what is beautiful about to happen does not need your fear to stay alert. It needs your peace to stay open. Peace is not passive. Peace is powerful. Peace allows the right things to arrive without struggle. My child, my beloved, stay aware in these hours. Stay gentle with your reactions. Stay kind toward yourself. If something meaningful arrives, you will recognize it not by excitement, but by relief, by a deep inner yes, by a sense of rightness that settles rather than agitates. You are not waiting anymore. You are participating. Remain present and open. Remain trusting. My child, my beloved, stay with this stillness a little longer, because now the meaning of this moment is beginning to settle in a way that will not easily fade. What you are experiencing is not excitement, it is recognition. Recognition feels quieter than thrill, but it lasts longer. It stays with you when the noise of the day returns. It changes how you walk back into your life after this moment passes. This prophetic word is a beacon of hope for many. By sharing this message with your friends and family, you are not only activating the anointing in your own life, but also extending that breakthrough to your entire network. Share this word now and let God use you to ignite faith in others. You are about to enter your divine future. Remember that this message does not end with you. People can use your breakthrough to get where they need to go. Through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our exclusive community, you can help this mission. By doing so, you are sowing into the awakening, deliverance, and restoration of souls who are still trapped in darkness. This is not poetry when Jesus says, "Give, and heaven will open over you." Every seed you plant turns into oil for your destiny, fire for your calling, and safety for your family. Now is your time, my child. Have faith, and as you do, watch God multiply what you let go of. Before we get to the end of this powerful story, let's take a moment to reflect on this deep truth. You did not find this message by accident. This is not a stroke of luck. It is a direct message from Archangel Michael to you. He's extending his hand and inviting you into a protected, high vibrational community where divine abundance is not just a hope, but a promise. This sacred principle is very simple, but it can change your whole life if you follow it. You won't just receive blessings, they will be multiplied and flow into every part of your life. By accepting this invitation right now, you are unlocking immediate, early access to powerful content and divine insights that are hidden from the general world. Now is your chance to enter a sacred space where you will receive spiritual guidance, unwavering support, and speedy progress toward your destiny. Do not let this sacred moment of destiny pass you by. Your breakthrough is waiting. Join Archangel Michael's inner circle immediately through the exclusive link in the description. This is how you guarantee you never miss the direct, personalized messages that are specifically meant to elevate and empower your life. If you desire to deepen your connection, the link is waiting for you in both the pinned comment and the description. And for those who feel called to amplify this work, a link to purchase the guided ebook is available, which is completely optional, but your presence, attention, and energy already mean the world. Take the step, your abundance awaits.